Hello and welcome to another episode of The Cultural Iceberg. My name is Maria and I will be your host for today's episode. Throughout the course, we talked a lot about different topics: inclusion, diversity, different traditions, different forms of expression, and overall cultures. When talking about a culture, we can compare it to an iceberg because in both there is a part we can see and a deeper part we are unable to see just by looking through the surface. In the very beginning of the course, we learned how and what are these different characteristics, which led us to better understand cultures different from our own. In each and every culture, there are visible and invisible traits that is up to us to discover. For example, some of the visible traits can be language, art, dress, food, greetings, etc., which would be the very top of the iceberg and are things we can see and appreciate maybe just by thinking or doing a very slight investigation of the culture. But in every culture, there are also a lot of traits we cannot see. These are the very bottom of the iceberg and would be morals, concepts of justice, worldview, manners, emotions, etc. We can navigate on both these parts of the cultural iceberg by doing a very deep investigation of the culture we want to get to know. Maybe traveling there, asking questions to a native, or doing a very extended research. But us as foreigners, it's very hard that we truly know what is going inside of the mind of the natives. Surely we can have a very close idea, an assumption, maybe stereotypes, or very close information. But us as foreigners, it's very hard that we really know what is going on the deeper part of the iceberg. This is why we need to be respectful and not make unverifiable assumptions that can come as offensive. Another topic I wanted to talk about would be similarities and peculiarities in cultures. For example, religious beliefs. France and Mexico are both mostly Catholic countries who really appreciate and respect religion. There are a lot of worship places that would be the Catholic churches that show the importance of, their religion to the country, the government, etc. Another very specific example is Japan and Mexico. Both these countries have a very special tradition which celebrates the dead, makes altars, gifts, offerings, and rituals that celebrate the life of the people who've already passed away. In Mexico, this is called Dia de Muertos, and in Japan, it's called Obon Festival. I found it very interesting how the Nigerians ought to show their morals through art, maybe through a show, opera, but they really show the younger generations how to be good people by entertaining them, which is also seen in a lot of different cultures. A very peculiar characteristic I found is that people in Australia really believe in a fair go, no matter what your background is or the things you've done in the past, which in some countries may not be normal. For example, here in Mexico, when you know someone who maybe committed a crime in the past, you may not think of them as a really good person or someone you would give a chance to. In Australia, this would be very different. They would have a fair go no matter what they did. In conclusion, throughout this course, we learned that each and every culture is unique in its own way and can be many times misunderstood by false assumptions and stereotypes. Both the project and the course also helped me to understand 5 different countries better, their cultures, their differences, and similarities. And it also helped me to unlearn the fake assumptions I once had. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I really hope you enjoyed it, and thank you.